In the year 305 AD, the Roman world held its breath. For the first time in Roman history, supreme power was handed over peacefully, a testament to the success of their tetrarchy. The new Augusti, Galerius in the east, and Constantius in the west, stepped into their roles. But this carefully constructed system, designed to prevent civil war, was about to be tested as never before. The foundation had a fatal crack, one that would soon shatter the empire's fragile peace. The first tremor came with the death of Constantius in Britain just a year later. His legions, loyal to their commander and his bloodline, immediately proclaimed his son, Constantine, as Augustus. This was a direct violation of the tetrarchic system, which prioritized merit over heredity. In the east, Galerius was furious. He refused to recognize Constantine's title, but, seeking compromise, offered him the lesser rank of Caesar. Constantine, ever the pragmatist, accepted, for now. But this breach opened the floodgates. In Rome, another son was watching. Maxentius, the son of the retired Emperor Maximian, saw Constantine's rise and felt cheated. Why should Constantine be recognized and not him? The citizens of Rome, stripped of their prestige and burdened by new taxes, were resentful. They rallied behind Maxentius, and the Praetorian Guard proclaimed him emperor. The tetrarchy was now fracturing under the weight of ambition. Galerius, the senior Augustus, could not let this stand. He dispatched his co-Augustus, Severus II, to march on Rome and depose the usurper. But Severus was walking into a trap. Many of his own soldiers had previously served under Maxentius's father, Maximian. When they arrived at the gates of Rome, their loyalty wavered. Maximian himself, tempted out of retirement by his son's ambition, appeared and promised them riches. The army deserted Severus en masse. He fled but was soon captured and imprisoned. The first Augustus sent to restore order had failed spectacularly. Desperate, Galerius himself led a massive army into Italy. He believed the sheer size of his force would intimidate Maxentius. He was wrong. Maxentius, secure behind Rome's massive Aurelian walls and with a well-stocked city at his back, simply refused to give battle. Galerius's army, its supply lines stretched thin and its morale sinking, began to suffer defections. Faced with the same fate as Severus, Galerius ordered a humiliating retreat. As a final act of vengeance for his failed campaign, he allowed his troops to ravage the Italian countryside as they withdrew. He would never threaten Italy again. The Tetrarchy had not just cracked, it had crumbled. With two Augusti defeated and the system in chaos, an emergency summit was called at Carnuntum in 308 AD. The old Emperor Diocletian was coaxed out of retirement to mediate. The result was a new, complicated arrangement. Maxentius was declared a public enemy. Constantine was demoted back to Caesar. A new man, an old friend of Galerius named Licinius, was appointed Augustus of the West, despite never having held the rank of Caesar. This decision infuriated Constantine and another claimant, Maximinus Dia, in the east, who both demanded the title of Augustus for themselves. By 310, the Roman world had no less than 5 men, all claiming the ultimate title. The stage was set for an inevitable, empire-spanning conflict. The first to fall was the old lion, Maximian. After a falling out with his own son, he fled to Constantine's court in Gaul. But the old emperor could not resist the lure of power. While Constantine was away on campaign, Maximian declared himself emperor for a third time. It was a fatal miscalculation. Constantine marched his army back at incredible speed, trapping Maximian in Massilia. The city surrendered, and Maximian's life was forfeit. His end marked the tragic conclusion of a founder of the Tetrarchy, consumed by the very chaos it was meant to prevent. Then, in 311, Galerius, the staunchest defender of Diocletian's system, lay on his deathbed, consumed by a horrific disease. In his final days, he issued the Edict of Toleration, officially ending the great persecution of Christians. His death removed the central authority figure of the Tetrarchy, creating a massive power vacuum in the east. Licinius and Maximinus Dia immediately moved to carve up his domains between them, their temporary alliance a thin veil over their own imperial ambitions. With Galerius gone, Maxentius in Italy felt emboldened. He began to present himself as the avenger of his father, Maximian, and prepared his armies for a final confrontation with Constantine. He gathered a formidable force, believing his strength in Italy was unassailable. He controlled the heart of the old empire, its richest lands, and the eternal city itself. But Constantine was not a man to wait for his enemies to strike. In the spring of 312 AD, he made a decision that would define his legacy. He gathered his legions, crossed the Alps, and invaded Italy. It was a daring gamble, leaving his own territories in Gaul exposed. But Constantine moved with lightning speed, winning victory after victory as he descended the peninsula. The final showdown was imminent. The two armies met at the Milvian Bridge, just outside the gates of Rome. It was here, on the eve of battle, that Constantine reportedly had his famous vision. A cross of light in the sky, and the words, "In this sign you shall conquer." He ordered his soldiers to paint the Christian symbol, the Chi-Rho, on their shields. What happened next changed the course of history. Constantine's smaller, battle-hardened army shattered Maxentius's forces. Maxentius, caught in the panicked retreat, was pushed into the Tiber River and, weighed down by his armor, drowned. Constantine entered Rome not as a conqueror, but as a liberator. The Senate hailed him as the senior Augustus, the undisputed master of the West. His victory at the Milvian Bridge was more than just a military triumph. It was the symbolic death of the old tetrarchic system and the dawn of a new Constantinian age. The power vacuum was closing, but one final duel for the soul of the Roman Empire remained, between Constantine in the west and Licinius in the east. The world was not yet done with war. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey through Roman history compelling, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories from the annals of the past. Your support helps us bring these epic tales to life. We'll see you in the next one.